Hey everybody, this is Al with El Rey Collection. Hope you're having a great Saturday here on the cusp of the Euro finals and also the Copa America finals. So just had some boxes around getting ready for the national here, which is in less than 2 weeks. So gonna be pretty exciting. I hope that many of you are going to the national. We'll be there at the SoCo Expo, which is going to be super fun. It's every night from 6 to midnight. Well, not every night. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights from 6 to midnight. And got this big shipment back from PSA, and gonna see what's in it. I'll probably bring some if they're dupes to check it out, and also happy to talk about anything going on in the hobby or just anything broadly. Let me see. Let me get the first open some of this stuff, and then I'll get kind of the comments on the screen, see if we've got anybody connected, and if anybody wants to chat about things as I kind of going through this. The SoCo Expo is a soccer focused expo, and it's going to be from 6 to 9 on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So if you guys get to make it, that will be super fun. Get to meet myself, Bill and I both. We have tables there, so that's going to be fun. So we'll have some stuff to trade or sell or whatever. I guess buy if you guys want to sell stuff too. So I guess without further ado. Oh, and on this one, I actually have PSA. I have a small mail day. Not sure if there's a preference. If anybody wants to, see mail or PSA, let me know. The first person to respond in the comments, that'll decide my plan of attack here. Let me just find a good spot for this and then get the comments on. Put that there. And we've got this. Okay, let me get the comments up and running here. Comments. All right. So you got hey, Collector's Dream. Nice to see you here. Ja on. Who do we have winning? Honestly, I think Colombia's playing better. But it's a big moment. So, Argentina has more experience in these types of moments. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Colombia gets it done. It's just my sixth sense as I feel like Spain will get it done too. They just look so much better than England in this tournament. But, the soccer guards have a funny way of turning the tables, so to speak. So obviously that's why we'll watch. I was trying to get together with the champ to make one last ditch effort to go to the final here in Miami, which is only a 10-hour drive for me. But I got complicating family issues right now. That's not going to allow that to happen. So, let's see. Did anybody mention whether they want to see the quick mail day or if they want to go through just the PSA stuff? Nope, doesn't look like it. Well, since I already started with the PSA stuff, I'll just start there. I always like to do this. This gives you a sense of how submissions are going. I sent this in on the stamp on it says order date 3/19, but it says they received it 3/14. So somebody received it at 3/14, and then it took about 5 days for them to kind of technically receive it. And then in total, this particular order is 98 items, so a little less than 100. And let me see what else I can say here. I would say if you just look quickly at this part over here, I'm sorry. When it's empty, they haven't graded them before. And so I'm struggling with this. So there's a lot of empty on here, a bunch of empty. So a lot of these are first time graded cards as I'm looking through. Yeah, actually most of them. So that would be not necessarily all from, look at this whole page had never been graded before. So, okay. So basically they got it in we'll call it mid May, March. So April, May, June, July, 4 months. And most of the 98 hadn't been graded. You know what? I'll take this. I'll take that. Yeah, the decent tickets I know, and the sections like in the Copa America final, like looking at on the sides, especially the side now that Shakira will be performing. Those are more like 5-6K and plus the fees. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end up skipping it, although it's a bit of a bummer. So it's gonna be. I think obviously it would have been different cost structure if Colombia has such a fan base. It's also a pretty big country. I mean, keep in mind Colombia has 50 million people to Uruguay's what, 3, 4 maybe. So they're 10 times the size. So if it would have been Uruguay, it would have been a lot less. Plus, there's so much pent up demand for Colombia to do well after their, generally kind of tragic. I guess they won in 2001 when it was hosted in Colombia. But it's just they haven't ever won anything big, and this is pretty big. And I think if they win the Copa America, I mean they totally deserve it. They've looked a better team. All right, so here's a couple of cards you don't see every day. I mean, these have been graded. These are from this is from Peninsular. They're a little bit bigger than standard cards, and this is Samora. I love the image on these. This came back a 1. Because of the stain maybe on the back. I don't know. I don't think these were ever stuck. And here's a Jacinto Quisones, which is pretty cool. And they called this one authentic. These sizes must be slightly different, but you know what? No one's out trimming Jacinto Quisones PSA 1s. So anyway. That's I always find that kind of a little annoying that they don't put more variants on some of these rare issues and on the sizing, because they were just kind of inexact. So yeah, and obviously there's a ton of Colombians and Argentines living in South Florida, so it makes all the sense in the world why the tickets are so expensive. All right, so let's go. I always love the feel of this when you open it up and this is the box. I think this is a nice little detail these guys added. Let's see, where can I put these? All right, I think I'll just these are kind of big boxes. I think I like the smaller boxes better, but let's see how this one goes. I think this is hitting my microphone. This box is so big. Actually, I'll just take these out, all of them, and put them here, and then I'll try to organize them as we go. There's some fun stuff for sure in this. Very, very fun. Oh my God, one of my most fun cards ever is just here on the top. So yeah, let's get into it. This is amazing. So this you may have seen this card if you've seen my Hugo Sanchez video on his rookies. This is probably my favorite rookie of his, and it actually comes from, I was working with Matt Hendler, who has a similar card of this issue of Zico. Actually, it's if you don't follow his Discord, he posts great auctions, and he also writes some great articles, and his day jobs with PSA, and he's a super fan of soccer. This back looks pretty terrible, but it may, because it's part of a puzzle. And this is made by the company Laboratorios y Agencias Unidas in Mexico. And this was a set for the 1978 World Cup. It's cardboard. It's the same guys who make some of the Star Wars cards from Mexico. And it's just so dang awesome. I love these cards. They're super hard to find. This was I think it was an SGC 1.5, and I crossed it over for my Hugo Sanchez, what do you call it? Registry, type event. Awesome. One of my favorite cards in my collection. That's relatively, not one of the most expensive, but you just don't see it anywhere, and that's super cool. From the same set, we've got this is Sotil. Obviously played in Barcelona with Cruyff, part of this great Peruvian team from the 1970s. That when did they win? 76 Copa America. I think they won 76. Here's always a nice little Sindelar. Very, very, inexpensive, but great card. This one, the back looks fantastic. Not sure how this got a 2, but, it is what it is over here. Very, very, oh no, this is bad. Look at this. So this is Sugar Ray Robinson for those who are into boxing, but you can notice that the card has already slipped into where the bumper is up here. Now these are low grades, but you don't want the bumper injuring your card. Okay, so I was able to hit it down. I don't like when you have to do that to cards. I don't think anybody would, and potentially damaging your card. Now, most of the stuff I collect is low grade, so not that big of a deal, but certainly that wasn't a great look. Here's a Fangio, also from this Felix Patin set. Very cool. Not many of these graded. This one also is getting up there towards the top, so let's just give it a touch down. I always have this organization issue when I go through this. This is Aaron Wurgificker. I think that's how you say it, something like that. I usually get a lot of these names wrong. He's actually, to my knowledge, the first player of Jewish descent to play with the Argentine team, and specifically, I think he played with Boca. Actually, yeah, no, not Boca. River Plate. Looking at that uniform. So that's a 2, and what's really a great set. These lays seem pretty common, I guess, out there, but the reality is to my eyes, they're not really super common in general. A little bit of mix of F1 in this, a little bit of everything. So yeah, this is back to the Copa America final. Yeah, that's kind of what when I was talking with the champ, it's like maybe just save that, $5-6 grand for the World Cup and go see some of those games. If I was in Miami, I'd probably do it, but it's just also hard getting there with right now. My wife's out of town, so I got other responsibilities around the house. Anyway, here's a Farina from the Cola. I love these Cola cards from 1951 out of Argentina. Great. And there's a few what do you call F1 cards in here. Here's another Farina, and this is part of the PUM series. This is a 2. See how cool that back is. Oh, I'm sorry. Lo Más Nuevo, Figuritas PUM. Love those. So some more F1 stuff. Here's a Fangio as well. This came back a 1 miscut. Really cool with this card. This is the Chevy card that he won the South American Championships with. Here's an Ascari. That's a 1 miscut 2. But still super cool cards to go on the vintage F1. This is one of my favorite sets from the 70s. Probably, well, I'd probably say these are my 2 favorite sets from the 70s if you just had to ask me right now, excepting the World Cup stickers, that are from Panini, which I think are all awesome, the 70, 74, and 78 sets. But, this Monty Gum just has such unique photography, and the layout, most are horizontal, and then this one we already talked about. So, but love the those. I did a couple of those. Here, obviously, the East German star Oblak as well from Yugoslavia. I think these are all grade pretty low 3s, and what was the Beckenbauer 4? Yeah, mid grades. I don't know why those seem to be really hard to get in high grade, but they kind of are. Here is, now this is hard to see these because these are made out of tin, and between the reflection and the fact that the front of these tin cards are relatively muted. You can't super see it, but it's just terrible. It's hard to see. It's hard to see in person, but when you get it in the right angle and you look at it, it's actually kind of nice. So there's an early for our Bernabe for our card. It's kind of weird how these all were a little mixed up. Here's Graham. What were we talking about? Oh, my son and I were talking about Liverpool greats the other day. Obviously, one of the better midfielders of this great Liverpool team in the late 70s, early 80s. And I have this as his rookie. It's a 3, obviously not super high grade, so not a big deal there. This is kind of a big deal. This is Paul Nicholas. It's a great French card. I think PSA is putting circa 1930s. I always had this as 1934, but it may be earlier. Certainly a fantastic image there, and that is in a PSA 3. That one came back. She thought that one had a little bit more legs on it. Could have gotten a 4. I think Nils has a 6 out there. Here's another one of these cards from Laboratorios de Gentes Unidas, and this is Cubillas. Again, I had a few of these Peruvian stars. Here's Diaz as well. He was a great defender, I believe. And then Sotil. So I have these guys. And this was just, for me, the golden age of Peruvian football. Yeah, you had Lolo, Fernandez in the 40s and 50s, but they won the Copa America. They made runs at the World Cup. I think that's just pretty cool. Here's this one. This is Nasasi. It's hard to see on these small cards. Still, these dollar cards are really nice, for sure. And then here's an Orsi. It's a little beat up, obviously, but it's a nice Orsi dollar. Let's see. What do we got? And Enrique Garcia. I love this set. This, Starosta has a ton of Argentine great sets, and this particular set is just so cool with all the different shields. The shields kind of go along with the team. So, I think like Huracan is like a global, like a hot air balloon. This is like, a shield formed like this. Here's a Martino with a shield. It's like a traditional, knight shield, and they're all just die cut like this. Just awesome. Look at these. Look at the way that is. And this is didn't even check the grades. 2 and a 2. Probably fair. These things chip all along the sides frequently, and then they also the backs, a lot of them are removed, although they're blank backs. So, it matters much, much less to me that there's damage to the back when things are removed, as opposed to if there's writing and it kind of, takes away from the writing. We've got a Prince Bira here that goes in the F1 collection. He's actually a prince. Where was he? Of Thailand, or maybe getting that wrong? Maybe Malaysia, or I feel like somewhere in Southeast Asia. Anyway, he was also an F1 driver, so that's kind of fun. Historical perspective. Also got a Angel Labruna here. Not something super, tough, but a really nice looking 2 MC. It's MC because you can see the black on the bottom here, and then almost no black up there. So that's probably right. So this one, it bothers me when they give you authentic, because if this is a baseball card, this would get a grade. It's authentic most likely because although the back is destroyed, you'll see it's not a perfect circle. So what happens is, like a baseball card, if it gets jammed on the corner, they won't give it an authentic. But when it's a circular pog, I've noticed, if it's not perfectly circular, like someone bashed, instead of a corner, the side, and it kind of, affected the circular nature of the card. And so they almost always are giving those authentics. That's just something that I've noticed. Haven't talked to a grader about that, but it's something that I've noticed on my own, that anything that's not perfectly circular, a little bit of a dent in the side, they're giving it an authentic, assuming, I guess, that it's trimmed. So this one, you can see, even though it's just as beat up, the Listau on this one, it wasn't jammed on the edge, and so therefore it gets a 1. And look at the back's even worse. So which of these two would I rather have? They're both beat up. I mean, it's basically the same. I guess it depends on player preference. Maybe a slight preference to the Labruna, and it's an authentic. So it's kind of annoying. Wow, this is unfortunate. I thought this Falcao. I mean, I have this as never stuck. I looked at this very carefully. You can see the back. I mean, maybe under some light it was actually stuck, but there's no paper loss. And this came back at 2, which is disappointing. Actually, I thought this one was going to be like a 5 or a 6. It's kind of weird. I don't know if you guys have this, but hey Ed, how you doing? Yeah. So thanks. Yeah, no problem joining late. I only gave people a couple minutes to get in. I just decided, I got to break this stuff down, see what I'm going to bring to the National, and I'm kind of getting ready for National here this weekend. Here's Alessandro de los Santos from the Chocolatines Aguila, and these come with. This is from Uruguay. Is this Uruguay or is this Argentina? Man, I'm drawing a blank. But you can see I think that it's Argentina now that I think about it. But anyway, you can see this thing. It has this back, Chocolatina Aguila. There are other ones that are blank back. And for those of you who don't know, Alessandro de los Santos is the first African Argentine to play on the national team. So he's in a way, very different stories, very different experiences, but in a way, kind of the Jackie Robinson of Argentina. And then Roberto Cerro, he's an amazing Boca star, so lots of people will, flock to him and collect him. And here's a duplicate of that as well. I think they both are, PSA 2s. And most of these, I expected to get PSA 2s. There's a lot of irregular sizing too in the Aguila cards, so I wouldn't be surprised if they slapped a couple A's on these that were outside of the what do you call it? Just minimum size requirements or maximum size requirements. Here's another one, Carlos Puseye. And these are coming back 2s, which is kind of the high end of what these cards could be in my mind. We could have potentially seen a lot of 1s and A's, and here is a 1. Speaking of that, Manuel Seone, and that's a 1. And here's an example of the blank back. And they don't differentiate the backs on these; they just grade them. Here's a really fun issue, and this is the Tony 1935 El Tony, and this is the Roberto Cerro of this. Cool back on this. Very, very cool. It says it's a, famous revista, which is like a magazine. And it comes out todos los miércoles, every Wednesday for 10 cents. So fun, another Cerro. That's great. Now are all of these, I'm going to just check to see what I got here, because these are kind of mixed up. I'm going to put a couple of these cards off to the side and see if I get the rest, because those kind of need to be shown together. This one's a bit annoying to me. This is Telmosada, and I do understand that they just put the name on the card. They do that a lot, especially in soccer, which sets they don't know. But Zoroandia, it's Telmosada, and it's just a little annoying that they don't put the name. Of course, I submit it with Telmosada and the checklist from Spain, and it says it's Telmosada, and this is his nickname, but yet they put that on there. It is what it is. We can't win them all, but this is one of my favorite cards of Cesar, great Barcelona. And here he is in his he was on loan, and this is in his Granada. You can see up here it says Granada. Well, maybe you can't, but you're gonna have to trust me. Granada, he was on loan. This is when, literally his first cards. And just I love the beauty of this one. This is the Hispanoamericana Leyendas Infantiles. They call them hand cut. I'm not sure if they are, but they are certainly irregularly cut. So if they need to say hand cut to get a grade, I'm fine with that as well. So let's put that in the Spanish pile. Here's a couple other of these tins. Here's another Carlos Pusey. You can see this relatively well. We saw the Ferrara earlier. This comes back at PSA 1. I don't think many of these are going to get higher than PSA 1. And here's a Antonio Sastre as well in a PSA 1. And these are both from the Campeonato. There's different ones, Popo, a few other ones as well. Francisco Varello. I sounded Italian there. This is coming back a 4, which is crazy high grade for this issue in general. Really nice clean back there. And a 2, which was my duplicate, which I guess I'll bring to the National. Let's see if someone has very unique tastes like mine. And then here's Ernesto Lasati. And this one came back a 4. Wow, that's pretty high too. Oh, followed by my duplicate of him, which was a 5, even higher. Wow. Pretty impressive to get 4s and 5s from things that are nearly 100 years old from Argentina. So, wow. Those are really, really, really nice grades. And then another Roberto Cerro. So I had duplicates of a number of these. That was good. And then we have Delfin or Benito Cáceres, but his nickname is Delfin. And this is cool. They put Delfin on it. They put on the flip, they put Delfin B Cáceres. I like that. That's cool. Has his nickname and then his full name. I love that. That hadn't seen that before. That's pretty cool. Here's a Pedro Ochoa. So this is actually, I told you, man, I jinxed myself here. Told myself there were some that were probably going to be authentic just because of the size. And yep, I got that. And here's a Mas Antonio, which I have. This is his rookie. So this one comes back as a authentic altar. This has the Aguila back. And here's a Francisco Rello also. Oh, wow. So I got a string of these. 4 of these that are authentics. And then the weird thing is, look at this one's actually bigger. I guess maybe this one's because of the back. I don't know. That's a bummer. And then here's another Mas Antonio. Again, this is his rookie. So pretty important sticker to my eyes. But anyway. What else do we have here? Was that all on these? I think we went through those. Okay, let's go to the next box. Actually, let me check to see if there's any comments here. Questions, comments. Nope. All right, nothing else. So if anything pops up to people, just let me know. For those of you, I think I just had a bunch of new people join. This is a 98 card return from PSA, and I have a little bit of mail that I'll go through. This was submitted in March, and I'm getting it back 4 months later. Most of the things hadn't been graded before, so not super surprised by that time. And it's been kind of a mix match of Argentine stuff, Spanish stuff. What other things? I guess Argentine and Spanish mostly is what I would say. Here we got some stuff that wasn't graded, and some other things here. All right, and getting ready for the National. Hope everybody is getting ready and hopefully going. Um, Here is, I had talked earlier about these starostas. Here's Huracan one, and this is that Mendez? I think so. Roberto Mendez. Yep, it is. And it comes back authentic. It's got a ripped back on the back. It's also oddly sized. Like this is bigger than most, so that's probably why they gave it to them. It's just a little weird shape, but those are super hard. Here's a Jose Salomon, great Argentine defender. But this is like a big highlight for me, and I just wanted to get these all together. So some of you may know, when we're talking about these tournaments, um, back in 1949, to see who went to the 1950 tournament from CONCACAF, the CONCACAF equivalent, basically North America, there was a tournament between the three teams that were being considered, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how the World Cup qualifying went back in the 1940s, but those teams were Cuba, the USA, and Mexico, and there was a tournament to find out who would play. Ultimately, the U.S. Did they go with Mexico, or was it just them? I think Mexico went too. I'll have to go double check that. But anyway, it's what punched the ticket for the U.S. to go to the World Cup in 1950. And that obviously 1950 is a great story with Jaten scoring against England and basically knocking England out, who's one of the favorites of the 1950 World Cup. Obviously, 1950 is known because of Uruguay, the Maracanazo beating Brazil at home. But the cool thing is in 1948, there was actually an album issued in Mexico for the tournament, the qualification tournament, that includes a number of the U.S. players, and I think 8 of which are in the U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame. And this is the set of the 11 players, and it, unlike the Tingles and the Balas Futebol 1950 sets that have most of the players that played during those games, these actually have the right names on most of the cards. So super tough set, super tough album. And so here's Laughlin, and look at how beautiful these are. Laughlin. Now these are construed as hand cut. I don't know if they were or not, but you know what, they all have variance in size. So, and these, I think all, basically I expected these to get, 2s. They were all removed from the album. And so here's Laughlin, here's Chappelle, here is Watman, here is Borgi, here is Martine. I'm not even looking at the grades. I'm assuming. Actually, why don't I go do that? Okay, 2, 2, 2, which I think is where you can top out 2 and 2. So that's all good. Here's Frank Wallace. This is now, as soon as I just said, look at the grades, this is an authentic, pretty jagged cut along the side here. Totally understand that. Authentic. So that's good. Yeah, so this album's super rare. I think I'm drawing a blank. ClassicSoccerCards.com has a copy of the album with all the cards in it. The Mexico cards, because it's issued in Mexico, are a little bit larger because it's made for their fans typically, and then the Cuban and the American cards are smaller, which makes them fit into these standard holders. Here's John Haynes. Peter Markovic. So a lot of these guys, like Jatens wasn't on the 49 team, so he doesn't have a card. Here's a John Sousa, and his brother played on the 1950 team as well. Look at how cool that looks, though, with the USA, crest. And they also have like the you can see here the position. Like this one says defensa derecha y izquierda, so he can play right and left fullback, right? So here's this. You can see he's a center forward. Anton Almeida, right? So very, very cool. This set, awesome set. Super glad to get this slabbed. Again, I wasn't checking the grades, but I'm assuming 1s to 2s, and yes, 2s, and this is Colombo. I think this is, I may actually be missing a card or two in here. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh no, so maybe not. No, but I feel like there's a couple missing. Maybe it was 16. But anyway, we'll come back to that. Super fun set. So stoked to have this slabbed. Got to think about how I'm going to scan and kind of present it, but very cool. And thanks for the props here at Collector's Dream. Very fun. Okay, so we had, I had shown before a Jose Salaman. Here's a Pontani in a 1. Here's another Salaman in a 4. So that's pretty big. These are tough. And then here's a Carlos Sosa, which is one of his first cards in a 1.5. So that's all good. It's nice to see a lot of these Argentines cards that are being graded. Yeah, I mean, that are just, coming here, and I'm getting them back right here on the World Cup. A lot of those guys were Copa America stars. So, this is a bummer. So we got some cards back. Never love this. Wow, they sent this one back without a card saver. I guarantee you all of these are in card savers when I sent them. That is not great. And this is from the Azafran La Paloma. You can see this Sada series. And so they must not have found this on the Chromos site. So there was a Sada in here and probably a Cesar, because I sent lots of Cesars and Sadas in this one. I thought I had some materials around here. I could sleeve this again, but anyway, here's the Cesar. I'll have to put that over there. And then, why would they not grade $1? Oh yes, okay. So I asked about this, and they said that it was too fragile. This is not that fragile. Here's $1 from Alessandro de los Santos. I mean, it's beat up, right? Don't get me wrong. It's a little rough, but it's not like it's going to break apart. Okay. I think that's probably a resub to my eyes. I mean, I'm sure that you guys all have the same thing, right? When you submit stuff to PSA and you get something back and it's like, what? You why did you not grade this? Oh, this is a super fun one too. This is actually, to my records, in 1942 Cesar. Look how young he is. And this is in his Granada jersey. So happy, not bald yet, like you'll see in a lot of the older cards. And they declined to grade this one, probably just because I can't find it on the Chromo site and got tired of looking. So I'll have to put those away and resub another day, which all in all, given that there's 100 cards and only 4 got returned, I'll take it. This is one of the more, here's another American player, Walter Barr. This set is just gorgeous. Take a look at this. I mean, the photography on this is just really cool, and the back is really nice too. So anyway, I love this. I only have a couple of semi-stars from that. Here's the earlier and harder Starosta. These are the thick ones. PSA is super inconsistent in the way that they grade these and the way that they encapsulate them. Some of them, because they're so thick, I don't know if you can see how thick this holder is, but this card, they'll actually put in coin holders. I don't have one handy, but like the PGS or PCGS, I forget what their name is, coin holders. So Let's see. Let me just check the comments here. See if nope, not much. And then here's another Pantone, and this is a PSA 5 miscut. And then here's a lot of the Spanish stuff that I had. Here's a Sara. This is well recognized as his rookie, 1941. Not a lot of people love this one. This is from Series K, just because it's a it's a cartoon depiction, but this is pretty early and of what is really an awesome player. Personally, these types of cards like just Cromas Esfera are just awesome. They just scream to me like 1940s Spanish issue, and that's a 4. So really kind of nice Sara there. What did they label? Nope. Again, they didn't put Telmo Sara on it. They put Sara Andia. Here's a really cool Manuel Seone. Very, very cool card. Unfortunately, this one has a little bit of a hole in it, not a little bit, kind of a big hole. It just happens to be placed well. Here's, I don't know if you can see my finger going on there. No, but you can see it much clearer from the back, obviously removed from the album, but the front still presents really well. You can see him, and obviously that got a 1. So I'd expect that to get an authentic because it had a hole right through it. Here's a much better one. Jose de la Torre is a played for Racing, and I think he starred in a couple Americas as well. Here is a really, really fun Passarella card. This I have as his rookie, and it's really from this really fun 1975 crack Jugadores that also has some discs. Really nice, tough, really tough to find, never stuck. So nice to have Passarella there. And then here's another one of these cards from 1933, this Barangay Goa with the really cool backs, and that's a Quisois. Here's a Cesar from 41, 42 in the Cisne. There's a bunch of these different issues. This was a 1, and then this was a 4 miscut. What else can I tell you here? Another Sara. Had a few of these Saras. That's a 2. This one's a 1. I actually thought some of these had a chance to do better. I didn't see them as stuck. So I actually thought we'd get a little bit higher there on that. On the what do you call this? Goodness gracious. F1 side, here's a 59 crack Fulbrito. Fangio, here's another one. It's more beat up shape. So we're getting to the bottom here. Then I'll open the other thing. Here's Jose Manuel Moreno. This is from the 1960 Arcaro set. He's got 2 different cards in this set. This is obviously one of them. I don't remember the number of the other one. Here's an Enrico, which is really cool. These are really, really nice copies, but most of them had been removed. So this is a great looking Garincha. You can see this tiny little paper loss there, but since they're blank backs, they're just absolutely fine. Here's a Sastre from 1960. Again, a lot of these are going back in greats. Enrico wasn't playing. Sastre wasn't playing. Who was the other one? Pedernera. Jan Moreno wasn't playing. Yeah, so it was kind of like the greats. And then Garincha, Pele's in that set too. Not in this submission for me. And then here we have, we've got Farina in the 48 Popo. And that's my dog in the background to get the real live experience. And then we've got a Hugo Sanchez, Rayuka, which I think comes from Venezuela. That's a PSA 2. Sorry for my dog. Real high-end, production, environment going on here. Here's another Quisois, and they gave this an authentic. I'll have to double check. Some of these are really hard. There's like 5 or 6 albums that look pretty much the same, but there's slight differences in terms of the card number, slight sizing differences, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get some of this stuff wrong because they have the wrong sizes in because they're slightly different. Here's a 41, 42, but almost all of them, look the same. Oh, and here's one that I was missing, which is actually kind of fun because this is one of 2 cards that I know of, and if you happen to know of any more, let me know, that show a guy with a Band-Aid. So there's this one who's actually in the U.S. Hall of Fame, and this is a Nicholas D. Oreo or something like that, from what I recall, and he's wearing a Band-Aid here, and there's a 1974 Pele, I think it's the Ederoff, and he also has a Band-Aid on his forehead, and I just think it's just so freaking classic. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So those are really, really cool. Yeah, that would be amazing, champ. That would be amazing. So, well, hey, if the champ's here, things must be good. So these 1949 American cards are just insane. Again, here's now the full stack of them. So I was right. There was 16 in total of the American team that goes to the World Cup. Well, I think half of these players actually are on the World Cup team that beats England. And hello, peeps. Afternoon. And so we got a few people coming out. A 50. Interesting. So I didn't know that. So, wow. So Gene Baker has a Band-Aid. So he can sit alongside of Pele as the notorious, guys that have Band-Aids in their cards. So that's the end of the PSA order. I will now kind of just open up the this mail, and I basically put things everywhere here, so you're gonna have to bear with me a second as I kind of move things around. And this is a little piece of mail coming in from Portugal. So if it's coming in from Portugal, I'm sure many of you that follow my collection could guess what player or players would be included. But now I seem to have misplaced my, again, high production environment here, my scissors. That's frustrating. Okay, well, it's going to be hard to open without scissors. Oh, here they are. Buried, right? Exactly where they should be. So, let's see what's in here. What do you guess? Anybody want to venture a guess? If it's coming from Portugal and it's going in my collection, what do you think? It's a preponderance of what player would be in here. I'm sure it's not that difficult of a question for most of you. Let's see here. Dang. Lots of tape, which I guess I like, because at least if Customs opens it, it's crystal clear. So now we've got. So we had the dog. Well, the dog is probably barking because the gardener is here. So she doesn't like that when he's out there cutting things down. So that's probably what's going on. And now you get the blower in your ear. Well, I'm not sure if you're getting it, but I'm getting it, at least here. So let's see what we got. Yep, here we go. Man, we're getting everything here today. I'm gonna have to cut this live short just so everybody's not listening to the background noise. All right. So here is always interesting packaging coming in from all over, and for those of you actually who don't know, so yes, that's Peeps got it here. It's Eusebio. That's right. So hey, if you hey champ, if you're still on, can you tell people where you kind of go through the channel? I forget the guy's channel who's in the UK where you did kind of the review of your PBA experience, because I think that was just awesome. So for those of you who didn't get to see Champ actually walk through this great experience he had with one of his idols, probably his most important idol, Valderrama. It was just awesome. This to me, this is exactly what the hobby is all about. So you should really check it out if you want to get, kind of inspired. There's few things more inspiring than listen to the Champ anyway, but this is just a Champ in a super special moment. So if you could just let people know, that would be awesome, because I think a lot of people would get things out of it. So, so here we have, this is really, really fun. This is Zelito Eusebio. I think this is 68. The Zelitos aren't super tough, but the 60s ones are tougher. And I just love the design on that. Yeah. So Champ is saying James has a great channel. I don't know what the, there it is. Sports Compendium. You guys check this out. Sports Content. It's an amazing channel. So you should go check that out. My Sports Compendium on YouTube. Definitely check it out. Worth a listen. And in the last episode, Champ's actually repeat, right? So he's a big guy on the channel. He's a big guy anyway, right? But he is, he's been on there a couple times. This last time, though, it's just must-see TV just to feel the passion. This is a must-have sticker right here. This transitioning, this Eusebio one. I mean, Zelito. I mean, I'm just a sucker for Portuguese Eusebio stickers. I just can't get enough. This one, I don't think is an upgrade for me, but I wanted just to get them. I just want to have these cleanest, best copies of all of these that I can have, and then I'll deal with the duplicates later. I think 3 or 4 of these. I mean, like at least half of these were duplicates, but going for them. I'm just such a freaking sucker for these, though. I mean, they just look so cool. The albums are tough. Here's a Zelito from 71, 71, 72 with this orange. And they're all ones. You can see kind of the what do you call, glue on the back. Look at this one. And I guess you could say, I mean, I wouldn't be against people if you said, well, they all kind of look the same. He's just standing there. It doesn't bother me at all. I think that the same subject, and actually, if you check the subject, there are slight differences. Like here, he's a little pudgier, right? And this is I don't know why. Some of them he's wearing Benfica jerseys. Others he's wearing, the Portuguese jersey. They look similar, right? So, that can be hard. But personally, when I just kind of look at these stickers, I just find them like really true art. The closest thing in my collecting mind, which could be different from yours, is the 1920s Spanish issues. They just feel like art to me. And these, take the simple subject and put all sorts of nice graphic design at a time when stickers, and these weren't meant to be saved or slabbed. And I just think they're awesome. So anyway, I just continue to hoover down these types of items because I like them, and that's what collecting should be about. And again, if you want to see what collecting's all about, go check out my Sports Card Condemniums video with Champ. So yeah, hey, no problem, Champ. And as it's big 24 plus hours here for you and Colombian fans. We're wishing you all the best. And you know what, guys, that's all I got today. It was a lot. I got a big mess to clean up here, getting ready for the national again. Reach out, let me know your thoughts. Let us know if you're going to be there. The easiest way to get in touch with us is DMing on the Discord, Vintage Soccer Discord. I'll put a link below. Hope you guys enjoyed kind of the PSA reveal and the mail, as well as the dog barking. And she's showing up here. She wanted to say, you want to say hi? So here, she'll make the very first appearance on the show, and I think she may be a little scared. Come here. She may be a little scared. So this is Feferon, or Josefina, and she is a diabetic mini schnauzer, and she is now making her first television. You can see she's a little shy to the camera. I think she's shy because the people are outside and she doesn't really know what's going on and doesn't really like it. Anyway, so I'm going to go take care of Fef, and hope everybody else has a wonderful day. Enjoy even the third place game today. It'll be interesting to see how Canada does. I know that'll matter a lot to them. Not sure it will matter to Uruguay. And hope to see everybody on the Discord at the National. And there you go. She's a PSA 12.5. Yeah, well, I've invested more in her than most of my cars. So, but look, she's a little camera shy. Thanks, everybody. Hope everybody has a good time. I'll see you guys at the National. Make sure you stop by. Oh, cool, Ryan. Cool. Very, very, very cool. And we'll be in touch. Everybody take care. Have a great day and a fantastic weekend. And hopefully see most of you in the next couple of weeks at the National. Bye-bye.